Siblings fight over guardianship of mother with Alzheimer's. Forgotten diary changes everything they knew about her past. Hello, welcome, leave a like, subscribe, activate notifications, and enjoy this story. In a modest suburban home, two estranged siblings stumble upon their mother's cryptic diary, filled with enigmatic sketches and nonsensical notes. As they decipher its contents, they uncover a trail of hidden time capsules scattered throughout the city, each holding a piece of their mother's fading memories. With her Alzheimer's rapidly progressing, they must race against time to unravel the mystery of her secret art project and confront long-buried family secrets that will change their lives forever. As the golden hues of a late autumn afternoon filtered through the dusty windows of 1247 Maple Street, Evelyn Matthews sat in her favorite armchair, her once sharp eyes now clouded with confusion. At 78, she was a shadow of her former self, her mind slowly being erased by the relentless march of Alzheimer's disease. In the kitchen, her children, Michael and Lisa, were engaged in yet another heated argument about their mother's care. Michael, a successful lawyer in his mid-40s with salt and pepper hair and a perpetual frown, insisted that their mother needed to be moved to a specialized care facility. Lisa, 5 years younger, with her mother's warm brown eyes and stubborn chin, vehemently opposed the idea. "She needs professional care, Lisa." Michael's voice rose in frustration. "We can't keep doing this. I have a career, a family. I can't be here all the time." Lisa slammed her hand on the kitchen counter, causing the dishes to rattle. "And I don't? Just because I work from home doesn't mean I can be a full-time caregiver. But that doesn't mean we ship her off to some institution." Their bickering was interrupted by a soft thud from the living room. Both rushed to find Evelyn on the floor, a small leather-bound book clutched in her trembling hands. "Mom!" Lisa cried, kneeling beside her. "Are you okay?" Evelyn looked up, her eyes suddenly clear. "I remember," she whispered, pressing the book into Lisa's hands. "I remember everything." As quickly as it had come, the moment of lucidity passed. Evelyn's gaze grew distant once more, her fingers slackening their grip on the mysterious volume. Michael helped Evelyn back to her chair while Lisa examined the book. It was an old diary, its pages yellowed with age and filled with an assortment of sketches, scribbled notes, and what appeared to be a series of cryptic clues. "What is this?" Michael asked, peering over Lisa's shoulder. Lisa shook her head, her earlier anger forgotten in the face of this new mystery. "I don't know. I've never seen it before." As they flipped through the pages, their eyes widened in astonishment. The diary was filled with intricate drawings of tiny artworks, miniature sculptures, paintings, and mixed media pieces. Alongside each sketch were notes in their mother's elegant handwriting, but the words seemed to make no sense. "Rosebud in the shadow of giants," Lisa read aloud. "What does that mean?" Michael squinted at the page. "Look at the date. This entry is from 5 years ago, right around the time Mom started showing symptoms." A chill ran down Lisa's spine as the realization hit her. "You don't think that she created this when she first knew she was losing her memory?" Michael finished her thought. "It's possible." They exchanged a look, years of resentment momentarily forgotten in the face of this unexpected discovery. Their mother, who had always been a pillar of strength and creativity in their lives, had left them a puzzle to solve. "There's something else," Lisa said. Her voice hushed as she pointed to a note on the last page. It says, "Find the pieces before they're lost forever. Only then will you understand." Michael ran a hand through his hair, a habit from childhood that surfaced in moments of stress. "Pieces? You don't think she actually created these artworks, do you?" Lisa looked at their mother, who was now humming softly to herself, lost in a world only she could see. "I think that's exactly what she did, and I think she hid them all over the city." "But why?" Michael asked, his lawyer's mind already racing through the implications. Lisa closed the diary gently, her eyes filled with determination. "I don't know, but I think we owe it to her to find out." As the siblings stood there, the weight of their discovery settling upon them, They didn't realize that they were about to embark on a journey that would not only unravel the mystery of their mother's hidden art, but also force them to confront the unspoken tensions and secrets that had driven them apart for so long. Outside, the last rays of sunlight painted the sky in shades of orange and purple, a fitting backdrop to the beginning of their adventure. Little did they know that each piece they would find would not only bring them closer to understanding their mother's final project, but also to rediscovering the bonds of family they had nearly forgotten. The following morning dawned crisp and clear, a perfect autumn day in the heart of New England. Lisa arrived at her childhood home early, armed with a thermos of coffee and a determination to crack the code of her mother's diary. She found Michael already there, his suit jacket draped over a kitchen chair, his sleeves rolled up as he pored over the mysterious book. "You're here early," Lisa remarked, setting down the coffee. Michael looked up, dark circles under his eyes betraying a sleepless night. "Couldn't stop thinking about it. I've been going through Mom's old papers, trying to find anything that might give us a clue." Lisa poured 2 cups of coffee, sliding one towards her brother. "Any luck?" He shook his head. "Nothing concrete, but I did find this." He pushed a faded photograph across the table. Lisa picked it up, her breath catching in her throat. It was a picture of their mother, much younger, standing in front of a massive skyscraper. She was smiling broadly, her arms spread wide as if embracing the city itself. "Turn it over," Michael urged. On the back, in their mother's handwriting, was a single line. "Where dreams touch the sky, a small wonder waits." Lisa's eyes widened. "The Empire State Building," she breathed. "Mom always loved New York." Michael nodded, a glimmer of excitement in his eyes. "And look at this sketch in the diary. It matches perfectly." They huddled over the open diary, where an intricately detailed drawing showed a miniature sculpture of the New York skyline, no bigger than a matchbox, with the Empire State Building as its centerpiece. "Rosebud in the shadow of giants," Lisa read again. "It must be hidden somewhere near the Empire State Building." Michael ran a hand through his hair, his lawyer's pragmatism reasserting itself. "Lisa, we can't just drop everything and go to New York on a wild goose chase. We have responsibilities, jobs, families." Lisa felt a familiar frustration rising. "This is our responsibility, Michael. Mom needs us to do this. Can't you see how important this is?" Before Michael could respond, they heard a soft shuffling from the doorway. Evelyn stood there, still in her nightgown, her gray hair tousled from sleep. For a moment, her eyes were clear, focused on her children with an intensity that took their breath away. "The first step is always the hardest," she said, her voice stronger than it had been in months. "But it's the most important." And just like that, the moment was gone. Confusion clouded her features once more, and she looked around the kitchen as if seeing it for the first time. "Is it time for breakfast?" she asked vaguely. As Lisa guided their mother to a chair, Michael's resolve visibly crumbled. "Okay," he said quietly, "we'll go to New York, but we need a plan." Over the next hour, as Evelyn dozed in her chair, Michael and Lisa hatched a strategy. They would take turns staying with their mother while the other searched for the hidden artwork. Lisa, with her flexible work schedule, would go first. "Remember," Michael cautioned as Lisa prepared to leave, "we're not just looking for Mom's art. We're trying to understand why she did this. Keep an eye out for anything that might give us more insight into what she was thinking." Lisa nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension. As she kissed her mother's forehead goodbye, Evelyn stirred, her eyes opening for a moment. "The city holds more than just buildings," she murmured. "It holds memories. Find them before they fade away." With those cryptic words echoing in her mind, Lisa set off for New York, the diary clutched tightly in her hand. As she drove, her thoughts whirled with questions. What would she find in the shadow of the Empire State Building? And more importantly, what secrets of her mother's past would this journey uncover? Back at the house, Michael watched his sister's car disappear down the street. He turned to look at their mother, who was humming softly to herself, lost in a world of her own making. For the first time in years, he allowed himself to really see her, not as a problem to be solved, but as the vibrant, creative woman who had raised them. "What are you trying to tell us, Mom?" he whispered, more to himself than to her. "What memories are you fighting so hard to preserve?" As if in answer, Evelyn's humming took on a familiar tune, an old lullaby she used to sing to them as children. Michael felt a lump form in his throat as he realized how much of their mother they had already lost, and how much more they stood to lose if they couldn't solve her puzzle in time. With a deep breath, he picked up his phone and began to rearrange his schedule. Whatever his mother's secret art project was, he was determined to see it through, not just for her but for the family they had once been and maybe, just maybe, could be again. As the autumn sun climbed higher in the sky, casting long shadows across the quiet suburban street, the Matthews family stood on the brink of a journey that would change them all forever. In New York, amid the hustle and bustle of the city that never sleeps, a tiny piece of Evelyn's memory waited to be found, the first step in unraveling a mystery that had been years in the making. Lisa's heart raced as she emerged from the subway station onto 34th Street, the imposing silhouette of the Empire State Building looming above her. The bustling energy of New York City pulsed around her, a stark contrast to the quiet suburban life she'd left behind just hours ago. She clutched her mother's diary tightly, thumbing through its pages until she found the sketch of the miniature New York skyline. "Rosebud in the shadow of giants," she murmured, her eyes scanning the busy street. For hours, Lisa combed the area surrounding the Empire State Building. She peered into every nook and cranny, searched behind loose bricks, and even struck up conversations with street vendors, showing them the sketch from the diary. But as the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the city streets, she felt her hope dwindling. Exhausted and disheartened, Lisa slumped onto a bench in the small pocket park across from the building. She closed her eyes, trying to think like her mother. What would Evelyn Matthews see here? A gentle breeze rustled through the trees, carrying with it the faint melody of a street musician's saxophone. Lisa's eyes snapped open. Music. Her mother had always loved music. With renewed energy, Lisa approached the saxophonist, an elderly man with kind eyes and weathered hands. "Excuse me," she said. "Has this park always been here?" The man lowered his instrument, a wistful smile crossing his face. "Oh no, miss. This used to be just another building. They tore it down about 5 years ago to make this little oasis. Shame, really. There used to be a beautiful mural on the side of that building. Showed the city skyline with the Empire State right in the center. 5 years ago, right when her mother's symptoms began." Lisa's pulse quickened. "Do you remember anything else about that mural?" The saxophonist furrowed his brow in concentration. "Well, now that you mention it, there was something odd about it. Right at the base of the Empire State Building in the mural, there was a tiny red rosebud. Always thought it was a bit out of place." Lisa's breath caught in her throat. A rosebud, in the shadow of giants. With trembling hands, she approached the tree nearest to where the old building would have stood. There, nestled in a small hollow at the base of the trunk, was a tiny metal box, no bigger than a matchbox. Lisa carefully extracted the box, her heart pounding. Inside, she found a miniature sculpture exactly like the one in her mother's sketch, a perfect replica of the New York skyline, with the Empire State Building as its centerpiece. At the base of the tiny skyscraper was a delicate red rosebud, barely visible to the naked eye. Tears welled in Lisa's eyes as she cradled the tiny artwork. She could almost feel her mother's presence, sense the love and care that had gone into creating this small wonder. Attached to the box was a small note, written in her mother's elegant script. "In the city of dreams, we found our beginning. May this small piece of that dream remind you of the big things to come." As Lisa read the note, a memory surfaced, her mother telling her about meeting their father in New York, both of them young and full of dreams. This wasn't just art. It was a piece of their family history. With shaking hands, Lisa dialed Michael's number. "I found it," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "And Michael, there's so much more to this than we thought." Back in their childhood home, Michael listened intently as Lisa recounted her discovery. Evelyn dozed nearby, occasionally mumbling in her sleep. It's not just art, Michael, Lisa explained, her voice filled with excitement even through the phone. Mom's leaving us breadcrumbs to her memories, to our family history. Michael's gaze drifted to their sleeping mother. But why? He asked softly. Why go through all this trouble? Before Lisa could respond, Evelyn stirred, her eyes fluttering open with surprising clarity. Because memories are precious, she said, her voice stronger than it had been in months. And some are too important to lose. Michael and Lisa fell silent, struck by their mother's sudden lucidity. Evelyn slowly sat up, her gaze distant yet focused. The city holds more than just buildings, she repeated her earlier words. It holds the story of us. As quickly as it had come, the moment of clarity passed, and Evelyn's eyes clouded once more. But her words lingered, filling the air with unspoken questions. Michael turned his attention back to the phone. Lisa, I think I need to join you in New York. There's more to this story, and I have a feeling we need to piece it together quickly. Lisa agreed, and they made plans for Michael to arrive the next day. As he hung up the phone, Michael noticed a small, leather-bound book peeking out from beneath a stack of papers on the coffee table. It wasn't the diary they had found earlier, but it looked similar. With a mix of curiosity and trepidation, Michael opened the book. Inside, he found not sketches or clues, but journal entries dating back decades. It was his father's journal. As Michael began to read, he realized that this journey wasn't just about preserving their mother's memories. It was about uncovering a past that had shaped their entire family. A past that, until now, had remained hidden in the shadows of time. With a deep breath, Michael settled into a chair next to his sleeping mother, his father's journal in one hand and his phone in the other, ready to text Lisa with this new development. As the night deepened around them, he began to read, knowing that the next chapter of their family's story was about to unfold. As the first light of dawn crept through the windows, Michael rubbed his tired eyes, his father's journal resting heavily in his lap. He had spent the entire night reading, uncovering a side of his parents he never knew existed. The journal detailed his father's early life in New York City, his struggles as a young artist, his chance meeting with Evelyn, and their whirlwind romance. But it also revealed a painful secret: years of financial hardship and creative frustration that had nearly torn their family apart. Michael's phone buzzed with a text from Lisa, found another clue in Mom's diary, something about where music meets the sea. Any ideas? He frowned, flipping through the pages of their father's journal. Suddenly, a phrase caught his eye: Coney Island, where Evelyn's laughter mixed with the melody of the carousel. It was there, among the music and the sea, that I realized I couldn't give up on us. With trembling fingers, Michael typed a response: Coney Island. I think that's where we need to go next. And Lisa, there's something you need to know about Mom and Dad. Hours later, the siblings reunited beneath the iconic Coney Island parachute jump. The autumn wind whipped off the ocean, carrying with it the faint echoes of laughter and music from the amusement park. So, Dad was an artist too? Lisa asked, her voice barely audible over the crashing waves. Michael nodded, showing her the journal. He gave it up to support the family. But look at this entry from 30 years ago. Lisa read aloud, Evelyn surprised me today. She's been taking art classes in secret, determined to keep our shared dream alive. Her talent is raw but beautiful. I see in her work the passion I thought I'd lost forever. Tears welled in Lisa's eyes. All those years, Mom was carrying their dream for both of them. As they walked along the boardwalk, Michael shared more of what he'd learned: the financial struggles, their father's depression, and how their mother's unwavering support and secret artistic pursuits had held the family together. But why didn't they ever tell us? Lisa wondered, her eyes scanning the area for any sign of their mother's hidden artwork. Michael sighed, running a hand through his hair. I think they were trying to protect us, to give us the stability they never had. Their conversation was interrupted by the lilting melody of the carousel. Both siblings froze, a childhood memory surfacing simultaneously. The carousel, they said in unison, breaking into a run. As they approached the ornate merry-go-round, its painted horses gleaming in the afternoon sun, Lisa's eyes locked onto a small alcove beneath the operator's booth. There, hidden in the shadows, was another tiny metal box. With shaking hands, Lisa retrieved the box and opened it. Inside was a miniature sculpture of a carousel horse, exquisitely detailed right down to its flowing mane. Attached was a note in their mother's handwriting. In the darkest times, we found joy in the simplest melodies. Never stop listening for the music of life. As Michael read the note over Lisa's shoulder, a realization dawned on him. "Lisa," he said softly, "I don't think this project is just about preserving Mom's memories. I think she's trying to tell us something about life, about family, about resilience." Lisa nodded, cradling the tiny carousel horse. "She's leaving us a legacy, piece by piece. But why now? Why like this?" Before Michael could respond, his phone rang. It was the caregiver they'd hired to watch their mother. "Mr. Matthews." The voice on the other end sounded urgent. "Your mother's asking for you both. She's more lucid than I've seen her in months. But I'm not sure how long it will last." The siblings exchanged a worried glance. Their journey had only just begun, but time was running out. As they hurried towards the subway, the carousel's melody faded behind them, a bittersweet reminder of the memories they were racing to preserve. The Matthews family home was quiet when Michael and Lisa burst through the door, breathless from their rush from the station. They found Evelyn sitting in her favorite armchair, her eyes clearer than they had been in months, a gentle smile playing on her lips. "My children," she said, her voice stronger than they had heard in years. "You've started to understand, haven't you?" Lisa knelt beside her mother, taking her hand. "Mom, we found your artworks. The New York skyline, the carousel horse. But there's so much we don't understand. Why didn't you ever tell us about your art? About Dad's struggles?" Evelyn's smile turned wistful. "Oh, my dear, there are some stories that can't be told with words alone. Sometimes we need to see and feel to truly understand." Michael pulled up a chair, his father's journal clutched tightly in his hand. "Mom, I read Dad's journal. Why did you keep all of this a secret from us?" Evelyn's gaze drifted to the window, where the late afternoon sun painted the sky in hues of orange and pink. "Your father and we had our struggles, but we also had our dreams. When he couldn't pursue his art anymore, I picked up the brush for both of us. It became my way of holding on to hope, of keeping our family together." She turned back to her children, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "I didn't want you to carry the weight of our hardships. I wanted you to have the freedom to pursue your own dreams without fear." Lisa and Michael exchanged a glance, years of misunderstandings and resentments beginning to melt away in the face of this revelation. "But Mom," Lisa pressed gently, "why the hidden artworks? Why now?" Evelyn's expression grew serious. "Because I can feel my memories slipping away, day by day. I needed to leave something behind, not just art, but lessons. The things I've learned about love, resilience, and family. Things I was afraid I might forget to tell you." She gripped their hands tightly, her gaze intense. "There's more to find, my darlings. More pieces of our story scattered across the places that shaped us. But remember, the art isn't the true treasure. It's the journey, the discoveries you make about yourselves and each other along the way." As if the effort of this clarity had drained her, Evelyn's eyes began to cloud over once more. "The library," she murmured, her voice fading, "where words build worlds." And with that, she drifted off to sleep, leaving Michael and Lisa to contemplate her words and the journey that lay ahead. As night fell, the siblings sat at the kitchen table, their mother's diary and their father's journal spread out before them. They had a new destination, the library, but they also had a new understanding of the task before them. "It's not just about finding the art," Michael said softly. "It's about piecing together our family's story." Lisa nodded, her eyes filled with determination. "And in doing so, maybe we'll find a way to bring our family back together, past, present, and future." As they planned their next move, both siblings felt a renewed sense of purpose. They weren't just chasing clues anymore. They were unraveling the complex tapestry of their family's history, one hidden artwork at a time. Outside, the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, silent witnesses to the unfolding story of the Matthews family. A story of love, loss, resilience, and the unbreakable bonds of family, waiting to be discovered anew. The New York Public Library stood majestic against the crisp autumn sky, its stone lions guarding secrets both old and new. Michael and Lisa climbed the steps, their mother's words echoing in their minds. Where words build worlds. Inside, the vast rose main reading room stretched before them, its ceiling a canvas of clouds and sky. Lisa's eyes widened as she took in the grandeur. "Mom used to bring us here when we were kids," she whispered. "Remember?" Michael nodded, a forgotten memory surfacing. "She would sit us down with a pile of books and tell us that in here, we could travel anywhere in the world, any time in history." They began their search, combing through sections their mother had favored: art history, classical literature, even old city records. Hours passed, frustration mounting with each dead end. As the library began to empty for the day, Lisa slumped into a chair, dejected. "We're missing something," she sighed. Michael, about to admit defeat himself, paused as his gaze fell on a nearby cart of books waiting to be reshelved. There, sandwiched between two large volumes, was a slim, familiar-looking leather-bound book. With trembling hands, he pulled it out. It wasn't their mother's diary, but it was undoubtedly her handwriting on the cover. "For my children, when the time is right." Lisa gasped as Michael opened it. Inside were not the expected sketches or clues, but a letter, along with a small, ornate key taped to the first page. "My darling Michael and Lisa," the letter began. "If you're reading this, then you've followed the breadcrumbs I've left behind. I'm so proud of you both. This journey isn't just about preserving my memories, but about helping you understand the story of our family, the triumphs, the struggles, and the love that has always bound us together." As they read on, tears streamed down their faces. Evelyn wrote of her early days with their father, of the dreams they shared and the hardships they faced. She spoke of her fear when she first noticed her memory slipping, and her determination to leave behind not just mementos, but lessons. "The key you found," the letter continued, "opens a safe deposit box at the bank where your father and I first met. There, you'll find the final piece of this puzzle. But remember, my loves, the true treasure isn't in any box or hidden artwork. It's in the bonds you've strengthened, the understanding you've gained, and the love that will continue to guide our family forward." As they finished reading, Michael and Lisa sat in stunned silence, the bustling library fading into the background. "We've been so blind," Michael finally said, his voice thick with emotion. "All these years, thinking we knew who Mom and Dad were." Lisa nodded, wiping away tears. "And all this time, she was trying to show us the bigger picture. Not just of her life, but of ours too." As they left the library, the setting sun painted the sky in brilliant hues of orange and pink. They walked arm in arm, closer than they had been in years, each lost in thoughts of the past and the revelations of the present. "First thing tomorrow," Michael said as they reached their hotel, "we find that safe deposit box." Lisa agreed, her mind already racing with possibilities. What final message had their mother left for them? And more importantly, how would it change their understanding of family, of love, and of the legacy they were now tasked with carrying forward? As night fell over the city, the siblings prepared for what they knew would be the final leg of their extraordinary journey. A journey that had begun with a forgotten diary and would end with a renewed understanding of the ties that bind a family together, even in the face of fading memories and the relentless march of time. The next morning dawned clear and bright, a perfect autumn day in New York City. Michael and Lisa stood before the imposing facade of the bank, the small ornate key clutched tightly in Lisa's hand. "This is it," Michael said softly, "the final piece of Mom's puzzle." Inside, they were led to a private room where the safe deposit box awaited. With trembling hands, Lisa inserted the key and turned it. The lock clicked open, revealing a small, beautifully crafted wooden box within. As they lifted the lid, they found not another miniature artwork, but a collection of items that told the story of their family in vivid detail. There were old photographs, their parents as young artists, full of dreams and promise, ticket stubs from concerts and plays, pressed flowers, and small mementos from family vacations long forgotten. At the bottom of the box lay a USB drive and a final note from their mother. "My dearest Michael and Lisa, if you've made it this far, then you've uncovered the pieces of our family's story that I feared might be lost to time and to my fading memory. But the journey doesn't end here. On this drive, you'll find recordings I've made over the past few years, stories, memories, and the wisdom I hoped to pass on to you both. Remember, my darlings, that our family's strength has always come from our ability to face challenges together, to find beauty in the smallest moments, and to hold on to love even when times are tough. The artworks I've hidden for you are more than just objects. They're anchors for the memories and lessons that have shaped our lives. The New York skyline reminds us of new beginnings and big dreams. The carousel horse speaks of finding joy in life's ups and downs. And here, in this box, you'll find the heart of our family's journey. I may not always remember the details, but I will never forget the love that has guided us through it all. Carry these memories with you, share them with your own families, and know that even when I can no longer express it, my love for you both is eternal. With all my heart, Mom." As they finished reading, Michael and Lisa clung to each other, overwhelmed by the depth of their mother's love and the magnitude of the gift she had given them. They spent hours in that small room, going through the contents of the box, watching the videos on the USB drive, and piecing together the full tapestry of their family's history. They laughed, they cried, and most importantly, they understood not just their parents, but themselves and each other in ways they never had before. As the day waned, they left the bank with the wooden box tucked safely under Michael's arm, both feeling a profound sense of change. "What do we do now?" Lisa asked as they stood on the bustling New York street. Michael smiled, a warmth in his eyes that had been missing for years. "We go home. We share these stories with our own families. And we make sure Mom knows that her memories, her love, they're safe with us now." As they made their way back to their childhood home, both siblings felt a renewed sense of purpose and connection. They had embarked on this journey to uncover their mother's secret art project, but they had discovered something far more valuable: the unbreakable bonds of family, the power of shared history, and the enduring strength of love that transcends even the cruelest ravages of time and illness. Back home, they found Evelyn in her favorite chair, her eyes distant but peaceful. As they settled beside her, sharing the treasures they had found and the stories they had uncovered, a spark of recognition flickered in her gaze. In that moment, surrounded by the physical manifestations of a lifetime of love and memories, the Matthews family was whole again. And though the road ahead would not be easy, they faced it together, armed with a deeper understanding of their past and a renewed hope for their future. As the sun set on their extraordinary adventure, Michael and Lisa knew that this was not an ending, but a new beginning. The legacy their mother had left them was not just in the art she had created or the memories she had preserved, but in the love that would continue to guide their family for generations to come. Thank you for listening until the end. Share your opinion about the story in the comments and let us know which character you liked the most. If this story touched you and you want to hear more, click on the next story appearing on your screen. Leave a like and subscribe to our channel so we can build a great community of people who share emotional stories together. Until the next story.